I've overseen over $900 million in real estate sales in the last 9 years, personally selling over $350 million. And here is everything I know in 10 minutes or less. Let's go. Pick one type of client and own it. If you try to serve everyone, you serve no one. The average person knows around a dozen agents, and when it's time to buy or sell, they can call exactly one. So the way that you become that one is by knowing a specific kind of client better than anyone else in your market. What keeps them up at night, what they're afraid of, what they really want on the other side of that move. Pick a lane and own it. The generalist competes on price and luck, but the specialist is gonna get that call. Number 2, you will not get clients without lead generation. I know agents who have been licensed for years and still don't have a real business. And almost every time it's the same reason. They won't consistently do the one thing the entire job runs on. Talking to people about real estate is the work. Posting, branding, organizing your CRM, making your calendar blocks look pretty. All of that is just support around the main thing. If you only take one lesson from this entire video, let it be that people who generate leads every single day and the ones who avoid it are the ones who end up leaving the business. Next, find the lead source that fits you, then commit to it for 90 days minimum. Most new agents force themselves into whatever method they were told to use, usually the one that they dread the most, white knuckling it for a week, they hate every second of it, and then they quit. Then they decide that they're bad at lead generation, or that doesn't work, or the leads are bad. The truth is they picked up something they were never gonna keep doing anyway. If you love being around people, your lead gen lives in person, at events, in your community. If you'd rather create, it lives in content and video. There's no right answer, just the one that you'll still be doing 6 months from now. I talk a lot about this. You'll recognize a theme. Consistency is the only thing that makes any of this work, and you'll only stay consistent with something that fits you or that you learn to love. Next, pick a number of conversations a day. Most agents live and die by their mood. Motivated days, they make calls. Off days, they don't. And their income swings exactly as wildly as their feelings do. So take your feelings out of it. Decide on a number, hold it 5 days a week minimum, and let the math work for you. The agents who win here are the ones who hit that number while everyone else is just waiting around to feel inspired. Next, get sold on yourself before you try to sell anyone else. You cannot sell someone on making a huge decision like buying or selling a house if you do not trust yourself first. And trust in yourself is built in private. So start small. Keep the tiny promises you made to yourself. Every one of those little choices either builds your confidence that you can count on you, or it chips away at it. Clients are gonna feel which one of those. Stop thinking of it as selling and start understanding that you are a professional problem solver. Nobody actually wants a house. They want what that house fixes. More room for a growing family, a fresh start after a hard year, a way out of a place that stopped fitting their life or lifestyle. The transaction itself is almost never the real reason, and the agent who slows down to understand the real reason is gonna win. Ask more questions than you think you need to. Get underneath the surface request to the thing that they're really trying to solve. People don't remember the agent who just showed them houses and didn't ask questions, who wasn't curious about their why. They remember the one who understood what they were really after. Next, a no usually means they haven't seen the value yet. Instead of arguing the value, show it. Walk them through exactly what working with you looks like. As the professional, ask them questions about what's important in the process. Take the personal sting out of it completely when somebody says no. It's typically not a personal thing. They're not saying no to you personally. It's typically that you haven't shown enough value, you haven't asked the right questions, you haven't gotten to the root of what they're trying to solve. The no was aimed at the offer as they understood it, not at you as a person. Once you stop flinching at no or taking it personally, you're gonna stay in the conversation long enough to turn that ship around. Learn to ask the questions to find out their real concern. Ask a level deeper. So this calm comes from reps, not just from personality. And the deal very often turns in these 30 seconds, is asking extra questions. Know your market better than any other agent in the room. This is how a brand new agent beats someone who's been selling for 20 years. They sound like the only person in the room who actually understands what's happening, and that is who sellers want to hire. Master one open house instead of just phoning in 10. Watch how most agents run an open house. They show up one afternoon, set out some cookies, a sign-in sheet, let people wander through, and then go home. Box checked, nothing gained. The agents who get real business from open houses treat it as if it's 3 separate things. First, the marketing beforehand, so the right people even know that it's happening, including neighbors. Then the day itself, where you're having real conversations instead of standing in the kitchen on your phone or on your laptop. And finally, the follow-up afterward, which is where almost all of the business comes from. Done that way, a single open house becomes a pipeline that can feed you for months instead of one wasted Saturday afternoon. Build your systems before you think you need them. A business that lives entirely in your head can only grow as far as your memory and your energy will stretch. And the busier you get, the more stress fractures start showing up in your process. processes. Systems are what break you out of that. A way to follow up that doesn't depend on whether you remembered or not. You don't build these when you're drowning. You build them beforehand while you still have the time, so that when the volume comes, you're ready for it instead of buried by it. This is what we mean when we say that you need both time working on the business and in the business. The agent with systems scales. The one without becomes the choke point that limits the growth and impact that they're going to experience. Your past clients are your next clients. This is the single most underrated source of business in real estate. Most agents are freaking terrible at staying in touch because the moment the keys change hands, they mentally go past client, and that one term is the whole problem. The longer that you're in this business, the more those relationships should be paying you back, because people move every several years and they refer their friends in between. So treat every single client as a client for life. Stay in their world after the deal closes. You build a business that feeds itself instead of one where you start from zero every single month just chasing strangers. Practice on everyone except your customers. You do not want to be learning your craft on a live deal with real money on the line. Practice everywhere else. Practice your language patterns with your spouse, with your friends, with your teammates, with your office mates, even your kids. Pick the smallest everyday conversation, like deciding where to go for dinner. Set an intention for where you want it to land. Practice navigating that conversation there, setting expectations for experience or timing, and handling the pushback when it comes. 15 minutes of this a day intentionally compounds really fast. And by the time you're sitting across from an actual client, the words come out naturally because you've already said them 100 times. And it reads as confidence instead of performance. The next one, know when to stop talking. Too much talking will unsell a person who may have already decided yes. Assumptive language, speaking like you're already working together. When we go to the market, when we receive an offer, when buyers come to me with questions about your plans. These kind of language patterns embed the relationship as a reality. So think about walking into your favorite restaurant, already knowing exactly what you want, and the server spends 5 minutes walking you through specials that you didn't ask about in detail, just feature dumping all these things about these specials that you're like, I just want the pepperoni pizza. By the end of the spiel, you're almost annoyed enough to order less than you were planning to. Well, the same exact thing happens in real estate constantly. The simplest, most powerful question you can ask in an appointment is, what have we not covered that's important for you to understand before you make a decision? Ask it early and ask it often. You'll be amazed at how often this person is already there, and you're about to talk them right back out of it. And listen, no single mistake blows a deal. I have botched names, I have fumbled a presentation, I have been more nervous than I wanted to be, I've occasionally pushed a little too hard. Every agent has. Is that people change their minds constantly, and one awkward moment almost never decides the outcome. The buyer who walked out a little annoyed with so many questions or so much information may come back the next week when the right house appears. Stop replaying your mistakes on a loop. Recover in the moment, take the lesson as a W, and keep going. Walk into the room with your shoulders back, allowed to be a human being who occasionally gets it wrong and still gets the job done. This business breaks and rebuilds on a long timeline. Resiliency is a superpower in this business. Deals you were counting on fall apart at the last second for reasons that have nothing to do with you. Months go quiet, and then just as suddenly things come together. A relationship you started a year ago turns into a listing. A client you'd half forgotten calls out of nowhere. The work you did months back finally shows up. The agents who last are the ones tenacious enough to take the hit, feel it, and still show up the next morning to do the work. Tenacity and resiliency carry them further than talent ever could. Stay in long enough, and this business rewards you in ways it never shows the people who quit after one hard quarter. Reputation is built on the days that you don't feel like working, not your best day, the forgettable ones in between, and the ones where showing up would have been so easy to skip. Because clients talk to each other, agents talk to each other, what they say comes down to whether you're the person who consistently does the work or only shows up. Your reputation compounds for years, and then starts handing you business you never have to chase anymore. And if you're a woman in this business and you've ever felt underestimated walking into a room, this is your answer. Be so consistent and so prepared, there's nothing left to underestimate. So that's the short version of everything I know. Take one of these, apply it this week, and then come back for the next. You want the longer version, the one where I walk through how we handle a listing appointment start to finish. I made an entire video on that, on the one question sellers ask that decides whether you get the listing or not. We also have a course for this in Novak Real Estate School, in our school group. It's called the 6 Points of Conversion Sellers Edition. Go and check that out. See you in the next one.